You're very welcome back to the Daily Rundown with me, Fiona Fox. Now, Prince Harry has just got Chris Evans into even more trouble after swearing live on air. The British Royal was chatting on the red-headed presenter's BBC Radio 2 show about the upcoming Invictus Games when he dropped the naughty word. Now, on a scale of bad words, it actually wasn't that awful, but we're not going to be repeating it here, guys. Because our producer, Emmy, no, we definitely are not Stephen, that doesn't sound
Stephen.
Very,
No, Emmy, no.
Our producer, Emmy, would have steam come out of her ears. The broadcasting regulators are already looking into Evans' show after actor Jeremy Irons dropped the F-bomb during an on-air interview. That's not Fiona. He didn't say Fiona.
We're definitely not allowed to say that either.
Definitely not allowed to say that one.
Right.
Either.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
Is this your greatest fear, though? Stu, obviously you work on radio. You're a radio host.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely one of the fears.
Kind of constantly and every time they go
Yeah, I'm worried about the listeners. I'm also worried about myself, to be honest. Especially New Zealand's broadcasting laws are very different to here in the UK. Very different, where words and what Prince Harry said you can actually say on there over here. Here it's a lot different. I feel sorry for Chris. You know, no one wants a guest to drop that, and it's probably not the best look for the royal family as well.
I have to be honest. I think it's a great look for Harry.
Well, it's Harry, isn't it?
More in my
It's Harry.
I don't know why we had to specify that it was on the red-headed presenter show either. I feel like
I was going to say that is being very generous to Chris Evans to say that he's still red-headed.
Yeah, I actually saw him recently. He's not red at all. I would say. He's grey. He's gone down. He's grey.
Has he?
Yeah.
It's that Top Gear show or hard work.
Hard
work.
But I guess both of these guys are redheads, weren't they, involved? But yeah, I mean, Harry's just been he's just been getting cooler and cooler, hasn't he? Now, I mean, cooler and cooler is what I mean. I want that to be very clear that I did that I don't just think he's cool because he swore.
Yeah.
Kind of past that.
I think
he's speaking to
Harry, I am not, until it is 100% certain, I will just refer to him as Harry.
This isn't Jeremy Kyle. There's no DNA test.
No. He said a word that I'm not going to repeat.
Father Ted likes saying.
Yeah, I was going to say Father Jack, as well as drink and girls.
And a milder F word.
Anyway, Harry, the context he used it in was to suggest that the members of the Invictus Games had really tried thoroughly hard and they had expended all of their energies from their top to their tail and that they had expended these energies. I don't see there being anything wrong.
You're going to get a call from the palace tomorrow. You're the next speechwriter.
That's
what he needed to say.
That's a good point.
That's what he needed to say.
Is it though? I mean, you just mentioned in the last segment about offences very often, not often given, but very often taken. I mean, this is the very, very mild end of this. Is this? I mean, Stu, do you kind of in your role as a radio host feel, no, that was dreadful? Did you read that and go, I read it like I said, and I thought.
Why it's dreadful? It's who's listening to that radio show. You know, I work on the radio Rock FM. We know who's listening to our morning show and when I'm on the radio, and there's kids in the car. There's kids in the car going to school. There's parents making breakfast. Radio 2 are a big market like that, and it's not so much maybe some people weren't offended, but if there's kids listening, it's a new word. Mum, what does that word mean? Who said that? Prince Harry did. Hey! Oh, there's a fun conversation to have with the kids and stuff. If it was on maybe Radio 1, it might not have been in such a big a deal, because it's a different audience, but the fact it was Chris Evans' show, and the fact he's had a bit of bad luck with people dropping some naughty words.
Yeah, he has. How long ago was that Jeremy Irons one?
Was it a couple of weeks?
Not that long. A couple of weeks.
Still getting investigated, isn't it? Still with Ofcom.
Yeah, I think it was a fortnight ago, maybe.
So it's still. You see, I think a lot of people.
Come on, Chris, go for the third. Go for the third. Make it a trilogy.
Trinity. But do you think people don't realise, do they, that it actually does come back on the station so often? Sure, they don't. Or it comes back on the presenter, because that's what you explained to us earlier on.
Yeah, it does. You're responsible for what you broadcast, and I'm responsible for what comes out of my mouth and what I broadcast through, the radio and Rock FM. And so, you are responsible. And so I often don't do callers live. I, have a delay system just because of that. Even with big interviews, when you've got rock stars, and especially the unpredictable ones that will go, and say some,
I thought that the satellite delay thing would have been quite common actually, and would have been employed in this situation. Is that kind of unusual?
Well, yeah, you've different radio stations operate differently, and you've got a delay system. Maybe he didn't have the delay on. Maybe
he just thought
maybe he wanted us to go out to get some publicity for the show.
It's a prince. What can he say? That's going to be a bad word. You wouldn't expect him to swear, would you?
No. Well, he's on radio, so I mean, you've already counted for if he turns up in any kind of costume. So, so I think this is just. I mean, I think it might not have been raised as an issue if Jeremy Irons hadn't have, dropped the F-bomb. I think it's the fact that they were already on kind of watch, and Chris Evans going back to offering Sean Ryder some very nice Patrick Cox shoes on TFI Friday. That if he didn't swear and he managed to get the whole interview, gave him the shoes, and Sean rated the shoes very highly and swore. So I think Chris Evans, he's always played that kind of edge. I don't think
he's
that's
skirting the boundary, isn't he?
I think it's just Harry was using. Again, going back to the previous story, Harry was using language that I would think that many people would use in the street. I wouldn't even class the word he used as a post-watershed word, but there are rules, there are rules and regulations, and I come out, I'm kindly been invited onto this show, and I accept that I come onto this show, and there are certain rules of normal society.
And there's that list we gave you as well.
Literally big list too. Big list.
I know, and you do. I mean, you have my family locked in a basement, and there's all these kind of measures you put in place. But yeah, Harry's just a bit of a, he's a bit of a lad.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, he wouldn't have done it on purpose. It wasn't an intentional thing. A lot of time with interviews, and you have this with bands and artists coming to the radio, you make them feel so comfortable. They kind of forget that they are talking to millions of people, and they just kind of say a comment and it's off the cuff, and that's how he probably, the way he talks to his mates at home, he said they work there. Yeah, that's what they did.
So it's a good thing. It's a compliment maybe to the presenting style.
Yeah, I don't think Chris will take it as a compliment. But
do you think though, because you kind of touched on the other instance, the Sean Ryder, obviously that was the famous one over the years. Is there any way there's some kind of agenda in this, that this is just what Chris Evans does, and yeah, it's bad, but we're all talking about it more maybe than we would have talked about his radio show?
I wouldn't put it past him to employ this, but I do honestly think it was just in the natural cadence of Harry's speech, and he just happened to sort of say, these guys really did try hard.
What kind of would, now be very careful, sorry, how you answer this, I'll be careful how I ask, I was about to say, but is there something that would really shock you while you're driving along, listening to the radio, and you go, wow, I can't believe, and I mean like topic-wise, or obviously that's like the Jeremy Irons F-bomb, as I said, is that? I
think that would make you drive off. Harry saying this, I think, would also make you...
That would have...
Yeah, but I think we are... The radio and the broadcasting here in the UK is very, well policed with Ofcom and what they do, and so there's kind of tight regulations, and and I know at my radio station that the bosses will come down on you hard if you break the rules, and we have regular meetings with lawyers and broadcasting people to go over what you can say, what you can't say, what you can talk about and things, and so as a broadcaster what's in your what you can do. If Prince Harry, if you want to come on my show and swear, I don't know if my bosses will let you, but you're more than welcome.
Have you had anybody that has kind of done it as such?
Yeah, there's been a few naughty words slip through. A lot of the guests, a lot of the live bands that come in and stuff, the Ed Sheerans and Rita Oras and those kind of people. Sometimes you make them feel relaxed, so they just forget that they're on air and let a word slip. But
what's the best thing to do though in that situation? Is it best should you go hey no, or should you let it go and pretend like nobody noticed?
I think it depends on how bad it is. Sometimes if you highlight something, it can kind of, we've got a good kind of beep system where if you can kind of tell, but yeah, highlighting it sometimes the worst.
Is the worst thing to do. All right, well, and on that note, you're doing a great job, so keep it clean for the rest of the show as well. Thanks, guys. Now we're going to talk about what everybody on social media has been talking about. Lemonade. Now you were excited by this one, Stephen, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I was I'm a big fan of R Whites and of Schweppes and other fizzy pops are available. I did think this was a story about soft drinks. I do apologise.
It's not. It's Beyonce's Bay, as they call it now, 6th solo album, and it touches on a lot of potent topics. It focuses on her marriage, exploring infidelity in powerful visuals and music. And it's also been praised for its celebration of the beauty and strength of black womanhood. Big Beyonce fans? Lemonade fan, yes.
Yes, to be fair, I wasn't I wasn't not a fan, but I read the review of the album, and the first thing I thought was, it seems to be a news story that a female artist has done an album where she talks about her personal life. Now, I was under the impression that male rap stars and hip hop artists did this every day, and it wasn't a news story. But I do want to listen to this music. I am not as much of a fan of Beyonce. I wasn't a massive fan of her husband's music.
I was going to say, even what about the Crazy in Love days? Come on.
Well, I just.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies. I've
never having been a single lady, and never.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
and having and I liked my thumb so much I put a ring on it. But I'm gonna listen to this music. I am gonna look back at her catalogue, because I'll be honest, I just thought of Beyonce as a booty shaking lady kind of.
Well, she's good at that.
I know she's so much more. I think personally, I found the ridiculous overreaction of her after she did Formation at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden, that this was seen by the right wing in America as some kind of horrendous kind of sort of emancipation sort of thing, and oh my goodness, but it was just really good music.
Yeah, it's great performance. It's amazing.
Good music, and I will be listening to this music, and yeah, I've watched videos of incidents that may or may not have happened in elevators
multiple times.
But there may or may not have been reasons for that. There may have just been a very, very over the enthusiastic fly in the elevator that she wanted to get.
Fly.
Yeah, but it's just. Somebody writes about their personal life, and oh my goodness, yes, I'm going to be listening to it.
Your first reaction though was kind of just a bit of an overreaction by the media in general, is it?
I'll be sitting there in my big BHS jogging pants, drinking my lemonade, listening to this music. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a window into the private life of a celebrity couple, and everybody gets to get it for the knockdown price of whatever you can get it for.
And we're going to talk a bit more about how you can get it as well, because that's also kind of a controversial part of it. And we're going to go for a quick break though. We'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Lots more news. We're going to finish the story as well. See you soon.